January 2017. Los Angeles, the city of dreams. But on this day, those dreams turned into a nightmare for one family. A 16-year-old girl returned home to find her father's lifeless body slumped in a chair beside the pool, drenched in blood. He had been stabbed to death. The victim was Fabio Sementilli, 49 years old, a well-known celebrity hairstylist with high-profile clients across Hollywood. He lived with his wife, Monica, his partner of over 20 years, in one of the most exclusive neighborhoods of Hollywood. Their luxurious home, with its glistening pool and Porsche parked in the drive, looked like a scene from a movie, untouched by violence. But violence had already found its way in. That night, two strangers were seen fleeing the property. Fabio's Porsche was gone. At first, detectives believed it was a robbery gone wrong. But they were wrong. This was only the beginning of something far darker. Over the course of a long investigation and a sensational trial, the truth would unravel. Coded messages, a porn actor, a hidden affair, and a motive as old as time: greed. Fabio and Monica lived in Woodland Hills, an upscale suburb of Los Angeles known for its wealth and privacy, perfectly suited to Fabio's glamorous life. In the world of hairstyling, everyone knew him as Big Daddy. He was a mentor, a visionary, a man who helped countless young stylists rise to success. Born in Toronto, Canada, Fabio attended De La Salle High School, but left 1 year early. At 17, he already knew what he wanted: to become a hairstylist. Raised in a hard-working Italian immigrant family, he earned his hairstyling certificate by 19. His first salon was built in his parents' basement with the help of his sister, a gesture he would remain grateful for his entire life. In 2015, Fabio told American Salon magazine that his family was his greatest motivation, the reason he kept pushing forward. And push he did. He earned awards, opened his own salon, and styled Hollywood stars on major film productions. By 2007, he was appointed creative director for Wella Canada. By 2010, he led Wella North America, managing studios in New York, Los Angeles, and Toronto. Despite his success, Fabio stayed humble, kind, supportive, generous with his time. That kindness would become his legacy, but also, in a way, his downfall. On January 23, 2017, Fabio was 49. His wife, Monica, 45. They had 2 daughters together, and Fabio had a son from a previous marriage. That afternoon, their youngest daughter, Isabella, 16, came home and walked into a nightmare. After spending the day at school, she had gone to a job interview at a local Italian restaurant, inspired by her father's work ethic. Her mother had asked her to stop by the house to grab her glasses before heading back. That small delay would change nothing. Fate had already decided. When Isabella arrived home, she noticed her father's Porsche missing from the garage. Something felt off. Then she saw it. Her father, motionless beside the pool. Panicked, but brave, she called 911. Moments later, her mother Monica entered from the backyard, rushing to help. But it was too late. Paramedics could only pronounce Fabio dead at the scene. He had been stabbed multiple times in the face, the neck, the torso. The attack was violent and personal. At first, police believed it was a robbery. After all, in early 2017, Los Angeles was being hit by a string of high-end burglaries. Two masked figures were even caught on a neighbor's security camera running toward the house. But there was something odd. The home's security system, state-of-the-art, had been disabled. The hard drive that stored all recordings was missing. Whoever did this knew exactly what they were doing. Police turned to Monica. She said the day had been ordinary. She'd left around 3:30 in the afternoon to go shopping at Target, leaving Fabio alive by the pool. She was gone barely over an hour. When she returned, her husband was dead. At first, she seemed lucky to have escaped, but detectives began to wonder, was it really luck? They asked about insurance. Monica denied there was any life insurance policy on Fabio, but later she would ask when that same policy would be paid out. Her behavior raised eyebrows. Yet grief is unpredictable. People react to trauma differently. Neighbors' cameras confirmed her alibi. She had indeed left the house that afternoon. Her older daughter Jessica had also left around the same time for her babysitting job. Shortly after, Fabio's black Porsche was seen leaving the driveway. But the driver wasn't Fabio. Moments later, Isabella arrived home. Minutes after that, Monica returned. The timing was eerie. How could a random thief know that the house would be empty at that exact moment in broad daylight? And why did everyone come back right after the crime? Then came another detail that shattered the robbery theory. Fabio's Rolex, worth $8,000, was still on his wrist. His wallet untouched. What kind of thief takes a car and security hard drive but leaves jewelry behind? This wasn't theft, it was murder. And soon, investigators found the first real clue, a drop of blood, one that didn't belong to Fabio or his family. DNA tests identified the source, Robert Baker. Robert was a 54-year-old racquetball coach who worked at a fitness club not far from the Sementilli home. He had a dark past, convicted in 1993 for lewd acts with a minor, his stepdaughter. A former soldier dishonorably discharged. He'd been living a modest life, coaching wealthy clients around Los Angeles, some even famous, while struggling financially. Occasionally, he appeared in adult films to make ends meet. If Robert was involved, money was the motive. He knew the family. He even attended Fabio's memorial service wearing a bandage on his finger. Police began to wonder, was that injury the source of the blood they found? They started watching him. When questioned, Monica downplayed her connection. She said she knew him only casually, could barely recall his last name. But that wasn't true. As detectives kept digging, they noticed Monica's strange fixation on the life insurance money. Even on the night of the murder, she mentioned finances to Fabian's son, Luigi, when she called him to tell the news. A neighbor who was present noticed her tone, more focused on money than mourning. Luigi was stunned. He was in shock. His father had just died. But to Monica, the thought of a payout had already taken root. Later, when Luigi flew in from Canada, Monica handed him the life insurance papers herself. The same policy she had denied existed. Two suspects now stood in the spotlight. Robert Baker, the mysterious trainer with a criminal past, and Monica Sementilli, the grieving widow with everything to gain. Monica had motive. Robert had means. The only question was, how did their paths cross? Monica was born in Toronto in 1972. She met Fabio in 1997 at his salon. He'd been recently divorced. She came in for beauty services and never left his life again. They fell in love quickly. In 2011, the couple moved to Los Angeles with their daughters, chasing opportunity and sunshine.
Fabio worked tirelessly. Monica handled the home, the schedule, the finances. They lived comfortably, even lavishly. But luxury often breeds boredom. And by 2015, Monica was craving something new. She joined a racquetball league at LA Fitness, where she met her personal trainer, Matt Nurse. Soon, the workouts turned flirtatious. Monica began downloading Matt's photos from social media and even invited him for drinks. He refused. She confessed her feelings anyway. When that failed, her attention shifted to another man at the club, Robert Baker. In December 2015, she emailed him asking for lessons, her tone already teasing. They met, exchanged numbers, and quickly began an affair. Despite what she later told police, Monica brought Robert into her home. Her daughter Jessica once saw him there. He didn't stay in a guest room, he slept in Monica's bed. Over the next year, they exchanged more than 26,000 calls and messages. Their passion was obsessive. Robert later admitted the marriage had become a burden for Monica. They used encrypted messaging apps to hide their communication and perhaps their planning. Because by early 2017, their secret relationship would turn deadly. Robert later claimed he acted alone, a jealous lover who snapped.
Divorce her husband for you?
We touched on it lightly, but I could tell that she wasn't going to do that. That wasn't going to happen.
And eventually, did that become one of the reasons why you decided to murder him?
I murdered him because I wanted her.
But investigators would prove otherwise. He had an accomplice, Christopher Austin, an old friend from North Carolina. Robert bought him a plane ticket from Alaska, where Chris was living, and together they plotted the murder. On January 23rd, Monica and Robert met for racquetball that morning, something she never mentioned to police. From their casual conversation, Robert learned Fabio would be home alone that afternoon. Later that day, Robert and Chris parked a mile from the house, pulled on masks, and ran toward the property with knives. Chris waited outside. Robert slipped in through the back. Fabio was by the pool. He tried to fight back, but Robert overpowered him. He stabbed Fabio to death, then fled with Chris in Fabio's Porsche. They dumped the car that night, but it was covered in blood. DNA confirmed the killer. Meanwhile, Monica and Robert exchanged 95 encrypted messages that day. That same night, Robert deleted the app entirely, erasing all evidence of their chats. When detectives asked Monica for her passcode, she claimed she'd forgotten. But investigators later discovered the code was Robert's birthday. Monica even started calling herself Monica Baker, claiming it was easier to pronounce. She was planning to move to Las Vegas using Fabio's insurance money. Police surveillance later caught Monica and Robert kissing in public at a bar just 1 month after Fabio's death. The grieving widow wasn't grieving at all. It turned out that on the day of the murder, Monica had actually met Robert in the Target parking lot right before the crime. Inside the store, security cameras showed her glued to her phone, watching her home security feed as the murder unfolded. In August 2017, Police arrested both Monica and Robert. Months later, they also identified Christopher Austin through phone records and financial traces. Chris confessed, pleading guilty to second-degree murder in exchange for testimony. He revealed that Robert had promised him money and that the murder was planned with Monica's full cooperation. The motive? Greed. Robert claimed Monica's husband was abusive, but Chris told police it was all about the money. Monica had grown to hate Fabio, not for who he was, but because he stood between her and a fortune. Chris described how Robert lied about the fight, saying Fabio barely had time to react. He also confirmed that Robert and Monica were in constant contact that day, planning everything together. After the murder, Monica searched for Google for, "Can police listen to cell phones?" She was panicking, but it was too late. Investigators found an email she had sent months earlier to Robert, giving him access to her home security system, the same system whose hard drive vanished on the night of the murder. Monica wasn't an innocent bystander. She was a mastermind. With Chris's confession, the case collapsed on them. Robert pled guilty to avoid the death penalty, sentenced to life in prison without parole. Monica stood trial and was found guilty of orchestrating her husband's murder. 3 people faced justice: Robert Baker, the killer; Christopher Austin, the accomplice; and Monica Sementilli, the wife who betrayed it all. Together, they conspired to murder Fabio Sementilli, a beloved stylist, mentor, and father, and destroyed an entire family. Today, his children are still rebuilding their lives. Isabella, the daughter who discovered him that day, followed in her father's footsteps and became a Hollywood hairstylist herself.
What do you think of this tragic story? Share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more real crime stories.